Hello, dear viewers, and welcome back to Let's Play Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. Oh my, it may not seem like very much time for you, but for me, dear viewers, quite a while has passed since I last had the chance to record. It has been a fantastic week, but it has been a very busy one. It's been a week or two, I think, since I last recorded, so I am going to check what's going on here. Because I remember we are awesome, super strong Granite Grant, but I don't remember exactly what we have going on. A lot of good stuff, it seems. Oh yeah, that artifact fire dragon armor. That is super cool. Okay. Yeah, that looks awesome. We don't have a source of clarity is the only thing, but we do have a source of resist mutation, and I don't know. Yeah, okay, we do have a source in our inventory. That's nice. I don't know if you can find clarity and or resist mutation on anything other than an amulet. Maybe on a weapon? Because I think anything can be on a weapon. But I really don't know about that. I mean, it'd have to be an artifact of some sort. So it's kind of one or the other, and at this point in the game, resist mutation is much better. We are much more likely to be mutated than we are to be confused, to be honest. And Potion of Curing cures confusion. It does not cure growing extra limbs and things. Okay. That's right, our stats are fantastic. We have 11 runes, which is really neat. It's very exciting. Looks like we have 4 of the 5? No, one of those runes is from Tartarus. So, yeah, the Dark Rune of Zod is from Tartarus. So we have 3 of the 5 runes in Pandemonium, 1 of the 4 runes in Hell, and all of the other runes. Yeah, we have the rune from the tomb, the golden rune. Yeah. The bone rune. Maybe the bone rune is Tartarus and I actually don't remember. Maybe we've done 2 branches of Hell. Does it tell us? Huh. Oh, yeah, it shows that we have been, to the bottom of Tartarus, but none of the others. Okay, so the bone rune must be, the bone rune must be another Pandemonium rune. So we have 4. Oh, that's right, yes, the bone rune was the one that we found in heaven. And with all the angels and devas and the great temples of the Shining One and Zin and Libalon. That was really fun. Okay, yeah, so 4 of the 5 Pandemonium runes, which is really cool. 1 of the 4 Hell runes. So yeah, so we're close to a full 15 rune run. That is very exciting. So I think the best thing to do would be to head back to Pandemonium, see if we can get that last rune from there. Do we need anything? We don't have any scrolls of Holy Word, which is the only thing that I would really want. I think we're pretty well stocked on other things. We have a ton of scrolls in general, so we can afford to carry some with us, like Amnesia, which is a good scroll to have, and it's kind of a limited resource, but we have 7 in our stash, so being able to forget a spell on the fly and memorize a new one is probably good. Let's get 1 more Potion of Cure Mutation, in case we get several mutations in a row, because we have 16 more of those. That's more potions of mutation than I've probably had in my last 3 or 4 runs combined, at the very least. Ziggurats were kind to us, if I recall. Okay, and we have rings that can boost our cold resist if we need that. I guess if we switch off of... Oh, I see. Yeah, we're wearing a double cold resist ring that we could switch to a single cold resist ring if we needed additional damage or wizardry, I suppose. What spells do we have? Oop. A bunch of good ones, if I recall. Yeah. Yeah, we have all of the good spells. Fantastic. What are we training, even? Summonings, I guess, okay, to get Dragon's Call better. Armor and dodging to max those out. Maces and flails, that seems fine. We're getting to the point where we're going to just have to start training random stuff. Okay. Well, let's go to Pandemonium, then. I hope I was diligent last time I played and tidied up at the end of it. Alright, into the crazy world of Pandemonium. What is... okay. We need to re-memorize all of our hotkeys here. Okay, alright, yeah. Okay, well, we're abjuring things, but no harm done there. It's amazing how scrolls of identify remain useful indefinitely. Yay! Scroll of acquirement! What is Bolt of Fire, J? Oh, well, they're both immune to it, so piffle. Scrolls of acquirement are always exciting to me. I don't care how late in the game it is. It's always neat to just get a cool thing, and it might be worthless. I seem to recall we even carried one around long enough for it to be burned once, and that was quite disappointing. So we're going to read this one right away. We obviously don't want gold. I think we just still want to pick armor. I mean, we have good armor, sure, but we could always get better. There's always something better. Ooh, that's a cool looking shield. An artifact shield, in fact. What are we using? Shield of cold resistance, okay. The +2 large shield of Ashinzari's Scorn. That looks awesome. 2 pips of resist cold, intelligence +1, accuracy +5. Okay. I'll take that over the regular +1 shield of cold resistance. Sure. Wow, so we can actually swap out that ring of double resist cold for one of the other regular cold resistance rings. Is there one that we want more? Probably the strength +4, damage +5 one. Yeah, that seems good. That seems really good. I guess our evasion drops a little bit. Let's see. 38, 64. 64, 40. Okay, we lose 2 points of evasion, which I'm not too concerned about. And that also opens us up to any other cool artifact rings with resist cold on them. Yeah, still maxed out. $62 versus 63. Okay, so 1 more point of shielding. Wow, good scroll. Excellent scroll. That's the best scroll of acquirement I've seen in some time, I think. What a gift. Like I said, you can always get better. You can always have better armor. Oh, and his dragons. Well, I meant to Firestorm, but I think I'm okay with dragons, too. I'm certainly fine with summoning boatloads of dragons. Dragon Call will continue to summon dragons until you are out of mana, and then it stops summoning dragons. It's just really neat effect. I mean, we can just stand here while all the demons run around and are confused and scared. I suppose we can actually hit things here and there. Maybe it's a good idea to back up a little bit. Get a nice convenient hallway between us and the nice thing about well, one of the many nice things about summoning a bunch of dragons, but about this spell specifically, is that the summoned dragons immediately start attacking your foes. You don't have to instruct them to do so, which is not true with all summoning spells. Some of the less powerful summons need to be encouraged to handle things for you via the instructions key. Default is T, but I have it bound to 4. I switched T to auto explore, so it's within reach. I use a 10 key numeric pad for movement, and I use I try to have everything else in the same hand generally. I suppose we can spend some turns sort of ducking around the corner. If those were stronger things... Oh, huh, it just happened to have a Scythe of Dragon Slaying. Whee! That it was glad that I had that until it was overwhelmed by all the dragons. Dragon Slaying is actually being removed as a brand in 0.15. And I haven't spent a ton of time on the web client. It's a little frustrating for me to use. I don't like the lag between your instruction and your character's movement. I suppose if you're sitting in the room with the server, it would be instantaneous, but it's just a little frustrating for me. I sometimes repeat commands that I did not intend to repeat, and silly things like that. So I haven't spent a ton of time on it, but one of my favorite dungeon crawl streamers, Zoopy Jubles, has said in a recent video that he has played it some, and there are some good changes, but he definitely dislikes some others. Give it a sort of non-dungeon crawl feel, which I could definitely see. I mean, there are a lot of things about this game that I certainly have come to take for granted, and if they were to change them, I would at least be quite aware of their absence. Yeah, there's the Lord of Pandemonium. Let's see. Lustity. Or Lustity. Lustity? I don't know. Whoever it is, it has a mass of writhing tentacles for a body. Blech. Very resistant to fire. That's not immune, though. So we could just firestorm it. I kind of like that plan. Kaboom. That never gets old. Can we Lehudibs it? No. We can Iron Shot it. That's nearly as good. Now we can Lehudibs. It must have some pretty hefty evasion for us to miss that many times with our Lehudibs. Hellfire. Hellfire's dangerous. But we are strong. We are mighty. We are Gargoyle. Ooh, that is hurting quite a lot. Brimstone Fiends. Not to be trifled with. Ugh, wow. I was a little incautious there. I think that could have been done better. I don't know why we're having so much trouble hitting things with our spells. We didn't put on an amulet of inaccuracy or anything. Just poor fortune, I suppose. I mean, we're still very strong, of course, but... Oh, yes, come. Draining. I'm glad... one nice thing about having 3 pips of resist negative energy is that it's a 90% chance to resist drain effects. Oh, that's right, we have Orb of Destruction. I don't know that Orbs of Destruction can miss, or if they can, they circle around and attack the target again. I should probably be using them a little bit more frequently with things that are far away and powerful. But things just pop out of nowhere here in Pandemonium. Oh my. Let us abjure all of these nasty things being conjured up. Oop. And just shatter. Oh, we don't have enough mana for shatter. Well, suppose we should save the rest for abjuration in that case. Do 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 do. We seem to be just absurdly strong. I think that this is what we this is the conclusion to which we have come. Is that we can beat up all the kids on the block of Pandemonium. I'd watch that TV show. New Kids on the Pandemonium block. I don't know. Maybe a band. Anything involving the word pandemonium ought to be a death metal band. Either that or strings. A whole bunch of crazy strings, like classical or orchestral rock. I would say that, you know, the halls of Pandemonium could be a cool, like, Apocalyptica style. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it's a bad band name. Regardless, we are good at thumping our way through. No rune on this level, but it still bears exploring all of it. I mean, there could be treasure. That's the real reason why we're doing this, is all the treasure. And, you know, the mystical and untold power of 15 runes of Zot. That seems cool too, I guess. Do-do-do. Ooh, our magic is sapped. Well, I think we can still abjure things. I should not make this too long of a video. I'm being somewhat incautious. And I feel like if we bumped into anything too terribly strong, we could have some difficulty. Maybe I'll just do a couple of levels of Pandemonium, and odds are that we will not find the last rune level on the next Pandemonium level that we jaunt through. But if we do, we might break the video prior to fighting the boss. I don't quite have the mental focus right now to take on something that could actually kill us. And by actually kill us, I don't mean kill us because we make a stupid mistake and just die, because that's possible anywhere in Pandemonium, certainly. There's enough hellfire and torment being thrown about that our just shy of 200 hit points is by no means an invincible amount. But the last guardian of the Pandemonium runes will assuredly be quite dangerous in some form or another. I'm not sure which one we have left to tackle. Actually, that ought to be something that I'm aware of. Okay, so let's see what runes we have, and let's just pop over to the wiki really quickly and find out who guards the remaining rune. Because on the chance that it's something... Yeah. Okay, so Glurk's Vlok was guarding the Dark Rune, and we took care of him. Sarabov was guarding the Fiery Rune, and we got that one. Lom Lobon guards the Magical Rune, and that is the one we do not yet have. Lom Lobon, yes, has a spell which will heal him to maximum. That seems difficult. Not too many hit points, but enough for that to be tough to break through. We'd need at least 2 maximum Lehudibs to take him down, which is a lot. About, well, a little over 4 regular Lehudibs. I mean, we have mana for that, but I'm assuming that some will miss. It can also cast Tornado, Yikes, and Glaciate. Okay, so seems to be very, very dangerous. We would definitely want to not be flying if we bump into him. And he's surrounded by wizards and blizzard demons. Okay. Good to know. The other unique Pandemonium Lord was Noleg, guarding the glowing rune. That's the other one that we have bested. Lom Lobon. Well, when we encounter Lom Lobon, we will make sure that we are prepared. The unique lords generally have, if not an entire level tiled differently, at least a section of the level. You may have noticed in the videos that in which we defeated some of the other unique Pandemonium Lords that I recall Sarabov and Noleg, I think. Definitely Sarabov had a uniquely tiled sort of vault-like area. I'm pretty sure Noleg did too. I don't recall about Glurk's Block. Probably. As I said, it's been a while since I've had the chance to play. I've been studying very hard as of late, and this is the first break that I've really been able to take of any significant length, and feel justified in spending my time. But I needed something to de-stress my brain, and Dungeon Crawl is good at doing that without just turning you into a zombie. I like it as it still uses enough brain cells to make me feel like I'm not leaking information. I can't remember the last time I watched a television show, for example. But it will all be over soon. I will hopefully pass my bar exam and return to normal life. That is some days off yet. Okay, see, this is where I'm actually going to stop and take a moment to look at these guys, since I have been playing a little bit. The sky is sad and beautiful like a vast altar. The sun has drowned in its congealing blood. Huh. That's evocative of some sunsets that we get around these parts. Though lately the sunsets have been more of a glowy pink than a dark red. Which is nice because the dark red ones are usually around tornado season, and it's never too fun to see unusual looking weather around May and June, April, May, June. But fortunately this year was quite mild. I think there were only a few out in some of the more unpopulated areas of the state, which is always nice. I think we've mostly explored the level. I believe that Pandemonium... Well, we saw for ourselves earlier that occasionally critters will just pop out of nowhere and kind of ambush you. Keep you from I don't know, tarrying too long in the halls of madness and power, where we do not belong. Monstrous Corruptor. What does that do again? Oh, right. It's one of the ones that... oh, piffle. It summons things, and it can temporarily mutate us. Extremely vulnerable to heat. Well, fortunately, we are naturally quite resistant, or not naturally, but with our gear, we are quite resistant to heat. Wow, that's... okay, good. We recovered a bit of it from killing some of those demons. That's one of the things, I mean, you really have to watch out for that. If we had just, been bashing our way through that and not noticed that mutation and fought, say, that Brimstone, or that Hellion that we just took out, it could have been a very unpleasant surprise. Have 2/3 of our hit points blasted away in a single hit of Hellfire. I'm not sure what the maximum damage is on Hellfire without resistances, but it is not a low number. I would guess that the maximum damage is no less than 80 for most things that use Hellfire. That would be my rough guesstimate. And that's being very generous. It's probably more like 120 or more. And I'm dramatically underestimating it. It's nice to use sort of Bayesian probability reasoning in Crawl. What's the most likely? Oh my. Well, speaking of Lom Lobon, we have found him. She. Any combination of sexes and genders. I'm sure the Pandemonium Lords are not bound by binary formations. Pandemonium sounds like a very varied... Deep Elf Annihilators, huh? See, this is a little scary because I don't know from here where Lom Lobon is going to be. So I kind of want to draw things to me as much as I can. Confused. Fortunately, we have plenty of potions of curing. The orange brain immune to fire? Not even slightly. Okay, yeah, we'll eat a meat ration just so that we are not having to worry about hunger in the middle of combat. I don't want to find ourselves unable to cast our spells because we are too hungry. You have to be starving to not be able to cast spells anymore. I'm pretty sure. Although if it's... Now that I think about it, if you still have spells that have a very high hunger cost, you may not be able to cast them if you are near starving or even very hungry, depending on how high said cost is. Regardless, better to be safe. Yeah, see, this area there looks sort of vault-like to me, and maybe this looks less so. Oh, it's really scary. Let's for sure abjure. I like that. For sure abjure. It's a good little mnemonic. Yeah, this aura of abjuration is probably second only to Iron Shot in its accumulated usefulness. Maybe deflect missiles. Yeah, I'm very, very impressed with Aura of Abjuration. It has saved our bacon on many an occasion. The cumulative damage, the equivalent of damage that it has done by banishing summoned things, is probably at least as much as Firestorm, I would have to guess. Oh gosh, this is so scary. I don't know which way to go. This looks vaultish too. This whole place looks like a vault. I'm so scared. I don't want to just waltz into Lom Lobon. If he's surrounded by too many things, we could just die. Whew. I do think I will attempt this. We're here already. I can buckle down. My brain is a finely honed instrument right now. I've ramped up. I've even been eating more. I've been using my brain so much. I don't mean that in a bragging way. I mean that in a I need a break way. It's going to be very nice to go out of town next weekend. Oh, there he is. Okay, we did walk right into him. Okay. So, we are frozen. I'm not sure what being frozen means, but I'm sure it's not good. Okay, so, options here. We don't know what's down here. So, blinking has a looks like 2/3 chance of sending us somewhere in this room as opposed to out here. Although I don't believe you can blink into a cloud. I think it keeps you from doing that. So still, that's got to be about a 50-50 chance that we will blink in further into danger. So I don't really want to do that. I also don't really want to teleport, though that may be safer. We haven't seen much of this level at all. I would assume that it's far larger than just 3 little chambers. Well, oh, no, perhaps not. Oh, no, that's right. You can't move the cursor beyond where you've explored, even if there's more map there. So there's no guarantee that teleportation is even remotely safe. Okay, other options. Summonings. We can summon dragons. I'm not sure if I should do that immediately or not. On the plus side, we would have a steady stream of dragons helping us out. On the downside, we would then be on a clock, because it would be draining our mana by 2 or 3 a turn, something like that. And that's not insignificant. I mean, that's a firestorm every 3 turns. Presumably, we will need a great deal of damage to take this guy out. We will need spike damage, and not so much damage over time. He has 360 hit points. according to the wiki, so I will presume that that is accurate. Our Lehudib's Crystal Spear is not at maximum potency, so it's probably doing... Its maximum normally is, I believe, 260. The average is about 114. So maybe it's closer to 230. 230 sounds right, max. But an average of 114 at full spell power. So given that we are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 10 pips. I think that's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8 out of 10. Okay, so 80, let's say 80% maximum power. That would put it at about 90 damage, 90 to 95 damage on average. So we would need, on average, 4 of them. But that's 4 of them hitting him without him healing in between. So at best, we can assume 4 rounds of Lehudibs, 4 rounds that will have to be that close to him. Our Orb of Destruction does a great deal of damage as well. It's not as much, I don't believe, but it is still quite a lot, and its range is greater, and it's a point of mana less expensive. We can cast 7 whole Orbs of Destruction, as opposed to 6 Lehudibs, not counting mana regen. Not as well as 6 Lehudibs, in lieu of 6 Lehudibs. Firestorm seems like a reasonable option. Because I believe that, yeah, he's only slightly resistant to fire. Let's see. Just resistant. Okay, he is immune to electricity, cold, and negative energy. That's fine. Yeah. So that must have been Glaciate that he used on us. Interesting. Conjure Ball Lightning doesn't seem like it would be too much of a problem. Ooh, Tornado is an excellent reason to not use Lehudibs, since that would put us smack in the range. Tornado is centered around the caster. I would assume that his is as well. Glaciate, I believe, behaves this way when you cast it. At least the description I've read seems to make sense, or seems to describe it as such. Okay, so other options. We don't really have scrolls that we can use. And he doesn't have a way to reduce our resistances, so there's no use in drinking a potion of resistance. We are already maximally resistant to cold. Let's see if the frozen status can be cured by a potion of curing. I somewhat doubt it. I would hate to waste... no, poison, confusion, sickness, and rotting. Okay, yeah, I don't think that there's a way for us to become unfrozen, short of maybe firestorming ourselves, but that seems like a terrible idea. Or I suppose we could target ourselves with Bolt of Fire, but I would rather suffer the consequences of being frozen than actively damage ourselves. We are strong, we are powerful. No reason to hit ourselves in the face. Stop hitting yourself, stop hitting yourself. Okay, so I think the first order of business is to try out a Firestorm on it. Firestorm, over time, can deal potentially his entire set of hit points and damage. I highly doubt that it will, but it will also get rid of the cloud there. Yeah, okay. It won't. Okay. I think he's also super, super fast. Maybe not. What is his description? Stoic and inscrutable, Lom Lobon is an ancient demon infamous for his mastery of magic. Rumored to be the most learned being in the halls of Pandemonium, he is at times sought out by mortal wizards who offer their souls in exchange for the secrets of the arcane. Lacking the terrible wrath present in most demons, Lom Lobon's single eye instead hides a cold, impartial cruelty. Well, I do declare. I think another firestorm is reasonable. And let's do this kind of thing. One of our potions of Cure Mutation frozen shattered. That's not as disappointing now as it once was. Can we do this? No, okay. The fire vortices are cool. They just sort of wander around and damage things. They don't do a ton of damage, but it's a little bit extra, and it will shield us from his ball lightning ability. I kind of want to blink now. Oh, we have controlled blink. Oh, that's so much better. Oh, wow. I'm really glad we memorized that spell. Okay, I guess the question... Okay, yeah, let's read a scroll of blinking now. I guess I could have done that in the first place. And let's read another one. We have a bunch, and it's not like we're going to fight anything more difficult than Lom Lobon. And let's kind of hang out here as long as we can. He may be able to track us down. May have scented us, but I mean, 3 blinks a full screen away should be sufficient. Okay, so let's drop some of our potions, I suppose. Let's at least drop the potion of Cure Mutation. We won't need that mid-combat. And this potion of Mutation, we won't need that either. We can actually quaff our potion of Might, and Agility, and Brilliance, because that will, yeah, that boosts our spell power. Oh, many enemies not Lom Lobon. Okay, well, thus is wasted our potions. That's fine though. We can. Let's be smart about this. Let's explore the rest of the level. Now that we know that he's over there, and presumably will not be wandering. He may wander somewhat into this area now that he has been disturbed from his slumber, but keeps hitting a wall of green crystal. Walls of green crystal we can actually, that's a good thing to remember. We can use the walls of green crystal to bounce our bolt of fire in interesting ways. So that is certainly an option if we can get him in a good multi-zap location. Multi-zap is hitting the same creature with multiple instances of a single spell. And normally it's only available for... most balls can only reflect lightning bolts and shocks. And lightning summoned by your conjured beings. So Summon Lightning Spire, for example, is an excellent source of multi-zapping. But walls of green crystal reflect any bolt spell, I believe. Maybe it doesn't reflect lightning, but it certainly reflects fire and bolts of fire and cold. And I think possibly draining, though I am less sure of that. Wand of Lightning, actually not the worst in this situation. We may find ourselves running out of mana and wanting just something to dish out damage while we wait for him to close with us. I don't know if he will close. He may stay at range and blast us, but my experience with Pandemonium Lords, well, I have no idea what his patterns are, so I can't really say that I can't really compare him to other Pandemonium Lords, but most monsters tend to close with you, especially if you demonstrate some form of, ooh, yikes, we are going to read a scroll of teleportation to cancel out that hostile teleport. Don't want to teleport right next to Lom Lobon with half our hit points gone. That would be probably death. We might be able to survive if we got a few charges of our Wand of Healing off without him casting too many spells, but that's a lot of ifs. That's way more ifs than I want to deal with if I can help it. As with all levels of Pandemonium, you can't come back, so we have to do it now. It's now or never. If we leave, we will never acquire the magical Rune of Sot. And I want to get all 15. Gotta catch 'em all. Oh wow, there's a straight-up gate out of Pandemonium. Those are fairly rare. Usually you have to traipse your way out through the Abyss. That's why I very, very strongly recommend getting the Abyssal Rune before you do Pandemonium, because gates out of the Abyss appear much, 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 much more frequently when you have the Abyssal Rune in your possession. Gosh, I really hope that he doesn't show up outside of his little lair there. So one option in theory, I don't know if green crystal walls can be shattered. We could like spam shatter and hope to open up a gap here and grab the rune and run away, but I want to kill Lom Lobon. No stone unturned. I want to be able to say that I have defeated all of the mighty, unique Pandemonium Lords. One can never defeat all of the Pandemonium Lords, since Pandemonium is infinite. But you can defeat as many as you wish. You can traipse through Pandemonium as long as you desire. But after I get this last rune, it is unlikely that I will... well, it's possible that I will return to Pandemonium for another Ziggurat. There's an 8% chance on each Pandemonium level that a Ziggurat will be generated. We have already defeated a Ziggurat on this character, so unless I find us lacking in some necessary consumable or piece of loot or something, there's no need to do another one, except to increase our score, I guess. But probably I will not return to Pandemonium. I will simply move on to the Hells and get the last few. Okay. Alright, yeah, he does have a friend. Okay. So now that we are here... Okay, good. We do have deflect missiles up. What is our best course of action? I think Firestorm for sure we need to do first, because I believe that will block... That may block Glaciate entirely. At least it will block some of it. And it will certainly do damage. It will get rid of that green death, probably. We can controlled blink next to him. That seems really super risky. I don't want to move in towards him. I will quaff a Potion of Brilliance. I think that's worth a turn. Just for the extra damage on our spells. I don't think I'll need Potions of Might or Agility. I mean, it's nice when you have prep time to use those as well, but I don't think he'll be hitting us in melee combat, and we will probably not be hitting him much in melee combat. Maybe we will. I don't know for sure, but we will definitely want to leave at least enough mana to Step from Time, if we can. Step from Time may not save us, because it only advances time by a whole bunch, and if he doesn't move away, then we'll be right where we were with no mana still. In fact, with 10 fewer mana than we had before. So what's the best course of action here? Can we fire through? Yeah, we can fire through our fire vortices, since they're immune to fire. Something smites us, that smoke demon, I would imagine. Gosh. I really kind of want to start summoning dragons, just to give him another target aside from us. But I am afraid that... that would just drain all our mana, and we'd be stuck trying to bash him down with melee, and he'd heal up, and then we'd be out of resources. What happens if we teleport this smoke demon? Oh, well, it accidentally teleported our fire vortex. Okay, now he's in Lahudib's range. That seemed to do well. That one missed, which is not awesome. That one hit, which seemed to do well. I think one more can kill him. I really want to do that, but I'm debating using Firestorm instead. Since that would persist, and if the Crystal Spear misses and he heals, yeah, I think Firestorm is better. Ha! Got him! Pacow! Ba 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 ba. We are awesome. All 4 major lords of Pandemonium down. Boom! Magical Rune of Zat. All 5 Pandemonium runes collected. Only 3 runes remaining. Awesome. Oh, cool. I did not anticipate this particular run being this exciting, but it certainly has been. All right, well, dear viewers, let's grab our potions here. Let's bop this demon on the head and rest up, actually. That seems like a good strategy first. Oh, you can't even use return to last travel location. Huh. Yeah, I didn't expect this to be that exciting, but it certainly that certainly makes my day a little bit better. Even it was a good day anyway, but that's just really swell. Cool. Very cool. Oh yeah, some of these things that we have strewn about here. I guess we can go ahead and pick up this Potion of Mutation, the Scroll of Vulnerability. I don't care about the Book of Battle. We'll grab it anyway. Can't hurt to put it in our stash. Well, that was neat. And that's certainly the substantive end of this video if you wish to tune out. I may do a little bit of stash work here, but nothing too crazy. So thanks for watching. I'm glad that I got to find another rune with you guys. That was really cool. And I will see you next time, those of you that wish to tune out. As for the rest of you, let's see what we have here. Oh yeah, the Sword of Sarabov. It has a hidden feature. It's not just a flaming sword. It also reduces the fire resistance of whatever you're hitting by 1 pip. So I don't know if it does anything to creatures completely immune to fire. Maybe it just makes them very resistant. I don't know. But at the very least, creatures that are extremely resistant to fire will become less so. Potions. We almost have enough potions of Cure Mutation at this point where we could play Mutation Roulette. Drink a couple of potions of Mutation and see what we get. I mean, we have 16 potions of Cure Mutation and only the Hells left to go. Why not? Why not? We'll have some fun. Oh, we're still wearing our Amulet of Resist Mutation. We'd have to take that off. We feel extremely strange. I bet that was incredibly uncomfortable. Well, let's try drinking this one. That's pretty bad. We don't want fewer mana points. That seems... 44 versus 49 is significant. Well, okay. That was a failed experiment, but that's fine. It only cost us a single potion of Cure Mutation, and we could just pick up a couple more of those anyway. I mean, with an Amulet of Resist Mutation, I don't really anticipate needing more than maybe 4 of those at the very most. Man, we have some cool stuff. I kind of wish that Storm Dragon armor had been better, but actually, no, I don't. I don't wish that at all, because we have natural resist electricity, so it wouldn't have really done anything for us. The Lear's Hauberk, I hope I find that early on in a run sometime. That would be really cool. Just be an early Juggernaut. I mean, you'd have to find a lot of stuff to replace it later, but I mentioned in a previous video, but I'll say it again. The Hauberk takes up all of your armor slots, so it takes up body, helmet, boot, and glove slots, which, helmets, boots, and gloves, if you think of each of them as giving you 3 armor class for a non-artifact thing, that makes the Hauberk only plus 18, which is still good. And I think it has 8 base armor rating. So that's 26 armor class prior to any. That's 26 armor class. 8, plus 18. Anyway, the real problem with it is that it doesn't give you any resistances. So you really need to switch it out later on for things that will provide you with elemental resistance, and if you don't already have resist poison and resist electricity, if you were foolish enough to not play a Gargoyle, or if you wanted to play something that's actually good at casting spells early on and doesn't require worshipping Chabriados, then it can, you probably wouldn't want to use it on a spellcaster anyway. Anyway, it's good very early on. Later, it's good to ditch it. We've had such a strong run. Another thing we could do. So just to make sure, okay. What was that ring? The double resist cold ring, dexterity +4 versus strength +4, damage +5 versus accuracy plus 5 damage plus 5 plus 3 gauntlets. Okay, yeah, so that ring is better than using the Gauntlets of War and wearing the double resist cold ring. I think, The question is 4 dexterity better than, is 4 dexterity and 5 accuracy better than 4 strength? Probably. Actually, yeah. Because it would be... Okay, so what I'm considering is switching off the Ring of Valor, which would reduce our strength by 4, and put on the Ring of the City, which would increase our dexterity by 4, and replace these Gloves of the Quahog with the Gauntlets of War. Yeah, so basically we're swapping 4 strength for 4 dexterity, which is better anyway. It gives us a couple extra points of evasion. It doesn't contribute as much to our melee damage, but that's not too much of a concern. We maintain maximum cold resistance. Yeah, our shields went down by 1 and our evasion went up by 2. So from the 2 points from 38 to 40 of evasion is a more significant increase than the 1 point of shields from 62 to 63. And some of that dexterity will contribute to our Evening Star, I think 20 or 30%. I think 20%. So we're losing, that 4 points, those 4 stat points, we're losing 80% efficiency from those specific points towards our weapon damage, which is fine, because that's probably like 1 damage at most, and we gain a significant amount of accuracy, which is never useless. Accuracy in general is much less important than damage. You are able to hit things far more easily than you are able to damage things heavily. But it's still useful. I mean, against things with high evasion, against very fast enemies, of which I believe there are several amongst the remaining Lords of Hell. I think some of them have very, very high evasion. So if we ever end up in melee combat, that's going to be better. Obviously, this may change if we acquire more stuff, but I like this better for now. Yeah. This is a really cool setup. That scroll of acquirement was excellent as well. I'm so pleased with that. I mean, that let us... Let's see, what did that do for us exactly? I mean, aside from giving us an extra intelligence and 5 accuracy itself, which is cool, it let us use... Basically, we are able to swap out those Gauntlets of War for our prior gloves. Like this setup would be the same with our old shield of just regular cold resistance and our gloves. So we're gaining 5 accuracy and 5 damage and 1 armor class just from finding that shield through our being able to switch the Gauntlets of War and use those rings. That's cool. That's really neat. You can't ever do too much damage in melee. There are enough things that drain our magic, or require us to cast enough spells to run out of mana. I mean, we used Lom Lobon died with our last available spell. Let's put it that way, and we would have had to start bashing from there. And having 5 extra damage, 5 extra accuracy, very nice. I mean, a total of 10 accuracy and an extra point of intelligence is always nice. I mean, it was no visible increase in our spell power. It might have actually made Dragon's Call 2% easier to cast. I think it did. Although it's entirely possible that was also from our increasing summoning skill. We're almost maxed out on dodging, which is neat. I imagine we'll get 1, maybe 2 extra points of evasion when that reaches 27. My guess is 1. We already have a ton, but maybe 2. 2 would be cool. Armor is not far off. We'll probably get between 3 and 5 additional armor class when that reaches. By the time that reaches 27, 2 more full levels. Shields, I see no need to raise that above 25 unless we're. I mean, I guess once we run out of things to put experience points into, that's more relevant to us than, say, Necromancy. But an additional couple points of shielding is largely irrelevant. I mean, a couple of points of any of our defensive stats are largely irrelevant at this point, but Dungeon Crawl does reward you for min-maxing, for squeezing every single stat point that you can out of your available equipment. The number of times that I've survived with 1 hit point remaining, definitely testament to that. I mean, if my armor class had been 1 lower, I think this character has had a 1 hit point victory. At least once. I know that a couple of my other characters that I've recorded have had 1 hit point survivals. Is there anything else? I really, one of the reasons why I'm spending so much time doing stash work is because it will be some number of days before I'm able to play again. A couple of weeks, probably. And I want to make sure that I'm in a good place to start and just run at things if I need to. I think we can go ahead and drop off these gloves. We have 2 other sources of cold resistance in our rings if we need it. And it's roughly equivalent. Well, it would be unfortunate if we had to take off the ring of Bo's approval. Strength, the in plus 5 damage plus 6. The in plus 5 really by itself is excellent, but the strength plus 4 damage plus 6 on top of that is really good. So we would not want to have to switch another ring out. I can't see any circumstance in which we would need an additional pip of cold. I mean, maybe if we find some crazy artifact ring that's better than 2 pips of cold resistance and dexterity plus 4, but that's somewhat unlikely. I mean, 2 relevant resistances. I suppose we could. Now that's a thought. Gosh, there are just so many options. Okay, so another thought is that we could wear those gloves of resist cold instead of the gauntlets of war, and instead of the ring of the city, no, that wouldn't work. I was trying to think of a way to wear this ring of fire, the Thralgiop. Fire resists negative energy, accuracy plus 5. Because fire, it's not resist fire, although it does grant a pip of fire resistance. It increases the effectiveness of our fire spells, decreases the effectiveness of our cold spells. We don't cast cold spells. We don't care about them. So I guess the question is, Oh, okay, our other pip of resist fire is coming from that morning star, as is a pip of negative energy. So we could put on, so the ring would replace the morning star as far as positive resistances, so we could use the evening star of freezing, which is just straight up more powerful as a melee weapon. It's fewer things are resistant / immune to cold. It has higher base damage. It has a higher enchantment level. But so that would swap out the resistances just fine. But we would lose something significant. We would lose. I really don't want to drop 5 intelligence off of our stats here. I mean, even even though our intelligence is 47, it would still be 42. I feel like that would be enough of a drop in our spell power that it wouldn't be worth putting on the Ring of Fire. Like our fire spells would remain at the same power level, and everything else would get weaker. In fact, we can test that real quick. Yeah, we're at 8 pips. 8 pips for everything except regeneration and deflect missiles, which is at 7. Put that on instead of this. Oh, well, still at 8 pips for everything else. So it was not a full 10% drop in effectiveness. It does raise Firestorm and Bolt of Fire to 9 pips, which is kind of cool. Huh. Yeah, okay, so we lose 1 pip of cold resistance. And 5 damage. So that basically cancels out the damage increase from switching to the Evening Star. And we would have to put on another source of cold resistance if we wanted to have that maxed still. Which means we would have to... Yeah, we would have to lose 5 accuracy and damage. So that would further drop our melee damage down. Yeah, that doesn't seem like it's worth it. The extra pip is cool, but... well... I mean, how often are we really bashing things in the face anyway, is the question. This is really tough. You know, I think I'm going to go ahead and go back to the setup that we had before. It's kind of cool that the fire spells get a boost. I mean, Firestorm is certainly one of our most, well, maybe the most powerful spell we have. But I feel like the incremental reduction in spell power, even if it's not visible in a full like 10% manner, the incremental reduction of all of our other spells power level is not worth a bit of extra damage with Firestorm and Bolt of Fire. We use Iron Shot a whole bunch. When we use Lehudib's Crystal Spear, we need it to hit as hard as possible. Dragon's Call, we get better dragons and maybe more dragons. I don't know. Probably stronger dragons, smarter dragons maybe. Yeah, Orb of Destruction. Yeah, we just have so many spells that we want to cast. We have a variety of spells, all of which are powerful. I don't think unless we find some other like artifact set of gloves that's more than just 1 pip of resist cold, I don't think it's worth it. Or rather, if we find another source of intelligence boosting that would be worth swapping it out. But even then, I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. There's way too much speculation involved in planning for equipment that we haven't found yet. Since it's, again, at this point, it's just min-maxing. None of this is likely to make a difference. we are probably strong enough to take everything else in the game in stride. But, I mean, you never know, and at least messing around with the equipment that we have feels somewhat useful. I won't hurt my brain right now thinking of anything else. If you, dear viewers, think of an incredibly clever solution, if you want to mess about with various combinations of things, then please feel free to let me know in the comments. I will tip my hat to you. You can drop off that wand of lightning, drop off this book of battle. The only spell in the book of battle that I would even be interested in memorizing is the Song of Slaying, which you cast it, and I don't know if it drains mana constantly. I don't think it does. I think you just start singing, and you can't use breath weapons or other song spells. I don't even know if there are other song spells. You can't use Zin's recitations, his bad guy blasting abilities. But then it increases your slaying bonus. That's the only one that I would consider from the Book of Battle. In fact, I think it's the only one that's useful to us at all. But that's not that great. I mean, we don't have spell levels for it anyway. We would have to forget one of our spells, which I really don't want to do. I mean, Blink would probably be the one to go, but I still really like having Blink for the really, really low mana cost entailed. Like, Controlled Blink is going to be better in 90% of the circumstances where we want to blink, but the other 10% of circumstances we really, 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 really need to have regular blink when we have exactly 2 mana points and we are in a hairy situation, surrounded on all sides by fiends. Regeneration would be another candidate for going. Then we could memorize 2 level 2 spells or some such. It just doesn't seem worth it. I can't think of too many situations where we are desperately going to need additional accuracy and damage. Instead of, I don't know, summon elemental. Passage of Galubria is actually a very interesting spell. It creates, well, let's read it. I don't want to say what it does. Yeah, it opens 2 gateways. Yeah. Opens 2 gateways. One's always near you, and another one is sometime within a tile or 2 of you, and the other one is, I think, line of sight. And they stay open for a couple hundred turns, I think. So what you can do is you can make a couple of portals and then go elsewhere and make another couple of portals. And there's a reasonable chance, there's a 2/3 chance when you enter the portal that's next to you that you will be teleported far away to wherever the other portal is on the level. So it's sort of a poor man's controlled teleport. If you plan it well, it can be very helpful, especially in circumstances where you know that you're going to be fighting something strong. You can summon some portals elsewhere, march in, summon a couple of portals right near your big bad boss guy, or, vault full of enemies or whatever, and then just stand on the portal. And it's sort of like having a staircase. I don't believe it will bring other things with you. So unlike a staircase, you can't stair dance. But also unlike a staircase, you don't have to worry about things chasing after you. And I don't think things get a free hit. Maybe they get, I don't know. I don't know if they get a free hit as they do when you climb the staircase and they are next to you. It's possible. But maybe not. The downside is other creatures can find your portals and I think enter them. I don't know if hostile creatures can. Your summoned creatures certainly can. I think maybe intelligent hostile creatures can enter the portals. I don't know if unintelligent, like animal intelligence creatures can. Still, I may experiment with those at some point. Probably not on this character. That seems like a mess of trouble. I think we're probably set as far as spells go. All right, so that's it for now. Wow, this video ran long. One of the longer videos. I apologize, but I had fun. Got another rune with you guys, and that's another rune that I have never obtained before. So it's very exciting for me. We are almost done with this character. I mean, we're almost out of things to do, which is an odd thought. But I'm sure that the 3 branches of hell will be challenging enough to merit several more videos. At least 3, and then probably a 4th for the actual ascension with the orb. So at the very least, 4 more videos. Anyway, that's all for now. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your viewership, and I hope that you have a wonderful day, and that your crawl adventures are successful yourself. See you next time.